Hello, everyone out there in podcast land. This is your host, Severen Henderson, again for another episode of Department 3C Presents, a podcast connected to fire. Before we get the episode started, I just wanted to give a quick overall view of what it is I do, because a lot of people keep saying, what is it that you do and what are you offering? What is our call to action? What do you want to happen? Well, let me start off by telling you this. I am a business consultant. I am a life coach. I am a public speaker, and I am a marketing consultant. So if you need anything to do with business of any type, please reach out to me. My email address is info@d3cpresents.com. That's info@d3cpresents.com. Info at 3cpresents.com. Got a little tongue tied there. Sorry about that. But you can understand and know what I'm saying. And at the same time, I want to speak to you and I want to be able to get you going in the right direction with any business that you need going. In addition to that, we have a phone number and we have an office that you can come to and visit us if you schedule an appointment. Our telephone number is 1-855-969-3538. You can expect to see a number from us there if you ever want to reach out. And the website is www.d3cpresents.com. And we look forward to speaking to you and serving you in any way we can. And always remember, we're here when you need us. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Department 3C Presents, a podcast connected to fire. I'm your host, Severen Henderson, and today I'm having the opportunity to speak with Terrance Leftridge. He's an accountability coach, and we're going to talk today about entrepreneurship, speaking, and about his company, UnStopABLE. So, without further ado, Mr. Leftridge, how are you today?
Hey, it is an unstoppable day, Severen. Thanks so much for allowing me to share your platform today.
Absolutely. I love how you come on with all the energy and excitement. That's part of the reason why I wanted to bring you on. You're such a great speaker, and you motivated me in a space to put me in the speaking industry and gave me an opportunity to speak in an event. And I just kind of wanted to share that same feeling I had with my audience and my listeners. So tell me about your company, UnStopABLE.
No problem. So the full name of the company is UnStopABLE Coaching Services. And Severen, what we do initially is help you focus more on what you're able to do and less on what's stopping you. And we spell unstoppable a completely different name. So for your listeners, hopefully first and foremost, if they're entrepreneurs, they've got their pen and their pad, because we believe that note takers are not only money makers, they're change makers. And if you're in this entrepreneurial business, you're definitely in it to make a change. I spell the word unstoppable differently than the norm, so I want you to write this down. It's actually spelled capital U, N, capital S, T-O-P, capital A-B-L-E. And Severen, if you notice, it's got 3 words in one. Did you notice that by chance?
I didn't, but now that you mention it, I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, let me break it down for you real quick so that it will forever be broken. See, there's 3 words in one in the unstoppable, and the first word is the UN. Now, we usually look at the UN, and we associate it with things that you're not supposed to be able to do. You're not supposed to be successful. You're not supposed to have everything that you dream of. You're not supposed to be financially free. You're not supposed to have all these things, and that's where we focus on. And then that second word is that word, that S-T-O-P, that proverbial stop sign, that thing that stops us in our track, that thing that stops us from moving forward, that thing that stops us from having everything that we want to have, or stops us from being everything we want to be, or stops us from being and doing everything we want to do. It's the big red stop sign that stops us. But here at UnStopABLE Coaching, we focus on that third word, that capital A-B-L-E. Yeah, the word able. Because we know that, Severen, you are able. We know that your listeners are able. We know that anyone who's listening under the sound of our voice or who may watch this replay video, I'm here to let you know that if you focus more on what you're able to do and less on what's stopping you, well, that's what makes you unstoppable. And that's what we're trying to create. We're trying to create an unstoppable people for an unstoppable movement because we know that there is more that you are able to do than what's stopping you.
I love it. That's such a great explanation of the unstoppable movement. And those words in there are just profound. And it gets you going. It makes you want to go out and start doing something unstoppable right this second. So what, as an accountability coach, what do you offer and pitch to people? Well, I shouldn't say pitch, but what do you offer to people as an accountability coach with the unstoppable movement that you have going?
So what we do at UnStopABLE Coaching Services is that we hold you accountable to getting those things that you are able to do. We hold you accountable to living the life that you were created to live. I didn't say the life you want to live. I didn't even say the life you think you should be living. I said the life that you are created to live. Because, Severen, many times we're stopped because we're trying to live somebody else's life. Somebody's going to get that in the replay. Write that down. What may be stopping you is the things that you're not supposed to be doing in the first place. See, we live in a world of social media. We live in a world where everything is instantaneous, instant gratification. And if we can't have what we see right then and right now, then we stop without recognizing that everything that we see, everything that's placed in front of us, ain't for us in the first place. But when you decide to tap into what your why is, and when you decide to tap into why you were created, when you decide to figure out what your purpose is, then everything else falls into alignment. And then that's when you're really able to focus on those things that you're able to do because you're not distracted by those things that you weren't created to do in the first place. Those people who are walking in their purpose and walking in their destiny, they're the happiest people in the world. Not because they're making seven figures, not because they're living in mansions, not because they're taking worldwide trips, but because every day they wake up, they're focused on the things that they're able to do so that they can live the life that they were created to live. And when you hold yourself accountable to those two principles, then everything else is gravy, baby.
Everything falls into place. I love that. I like how you say not just the life you're supposed to live, the life you deserve to live. That's profound. Again, like I said, the words that you have are just very moving. So another question I have for you, how would someone get the opportunity to work with you?
Just like you did, Severen, just reach out and call me. There's so many different ways you can get in contact with me, especially through my website. I don't know if you want me to give that information
I do,
now
yes.
or as we go through the show.
We're going to give it now and then again at the end.
Absolutely. You can reach out to my website at UnStopABleCoaching.com, just like it sounds, UnStopABleCoaching.com. And if you go to my homepage, you'll have the opportunity to get a free gift. It's one of my latest books, a book anthology called You Are Unstoppable, Moving from Past to Purpose. Because many times we're stuck in our past because we've gotten to that proverbial fork in the road, Severen, and we don't know whether we want to go left to the things that we already used to be doing, or if we're going to fight the fear and take that other direction, that right turn instead of that left turn. And we are afraid to do that because we're so used to the things that we've been stuck in. We call that our comfort zone.
Right.
But we know, I know, and I want you to know that if you become accountable to not living in your past, but using your past to walk in your purpose, then you will definitely be unstoppable. So this book has stories from 7 different people from all walks of life all over the world that share their path to purpose story and how they moved from being stopped and stuck in their past into being unstoppable, walking into their purpose. So if you go to my website, UnStopABleCoaching.com, you can get the digital download of that book for free. Plus, you can see all of my motivational videos. I am also a speaker as well as a video podcaster. I've got 2 shows. The Unstoppable Story Show, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories, as well as our second show, Talking Small Business with Terrence, where we talk to small business owners and have them share their trials, triumphs, tribulations, tips, and strategies so that other small businesses can move from being stuck into being unstoppable. All of those you can find on my website at UnstopABleCoaching.com.
Those all sound like great resources, and I am very fortunate to have found you and connected with you. Like I said, you and I connected for myself to speak on the platform through the Black CEO Network, and you were the person that told me about the opportunity, gave me the presentation on it and everything else. And just like I said, the words that you had and the ability that you made me feel like I have to be able to spread a message of positivity and get other people to understand and believe and do that is phenomenal. So again, I appreciate you. Thank you very much for that. As far as that event goes, though, we had a quick little talk about it in the beginning. Are you participating in that event?
So I work with a fabulous team at the Black CEO Networks. They are the production arm of Success Fest 2021. So that is their baby. I am helping them out by finding phenomenal up-and-coming speakers like yourself to share that platform. Because, Severen, here's the one thing I know. The world's best speaker may not have been discovered yet.
Okay.
The world's best speaker may be Severen Henderson, but the world doesn't know it yet.
Okay.
Because Severen hasn't stepped out on that world stage. And so that's who we look for. We look for people who can speak to success, who can speak about success, and who are willing to share their successes with others so that they can also get on their success journey. And sometimes the key to success is just hearing how somebody else failed.
Right.
And we have a lot of failures in our lives. There's a lot of the most famous products out there on the market right now that went through many failures before they found success. So we use this platform, Success Fest 21, to share not only the successes of our speakers, but to really dig down deep into what they failed at and what they learned from those failures. Because, you know, going back to what I do with Unstoppable Coaching, there's an acronym for the word ABLE, and it really is what sets the tone for success. Would you like to hear that acronym?
Absolutely, and I got my pen and pad. I'm ready to write it down.
Okay, so the acronym is for the word ABLE. Write this down. The first letter in the word ABLE stands for your actions.
Actions. Your
actions is what sets the tones for your success. What you do each and every day, what you don't do each and every day sets the tone for your success.
Okay.
But also your belief system. Do you believe that you're supposed to be successful? Do you believe that you can be successful? Do you believe you have what it takes to make it as a success? Do you believe that you are worthy of success? Everything you believe is going to determine the actions that you take. And if you don't believe in the action, more than likely you're not going to take it.
Right.
But now how do you create that belief system? Well, many of our beliefs are things that we have learned on this journey called life. So that's what the L stands for. It stands for life lessons learned. LLL, life lessons learned. Your life lessons are the things that formulate what you believe. Your life lessons are those things that allow you to say if you did it before, you can do it again. Those life lessons are those things just like when you were growing up and your mama told you not to touch that hot stove and you did it anyway and you
Yeah.
got burned. You
Yep.
learned something because of that lesson.
Yep.
It's when we learn from our life lessons that we are able to create a belief system that leads into our actions. And last but not least, Severen, the E. The E in the word able, I think, is the most powerful letter of those four letters. Why? Because it talks about expectation.
Expectations.
What do you expect out of your life? What do you expect to happen each and every morning when you wake up? What do you expect to happen the next day when you lay down at night? When you create those expectations based upon your life lessons, your belief systems, and your actions, then that is definitely what makes you successful and what makes you unstoppable.
Okay, I love it. The acronym, I always love. That's how I learn the most is by acronyms. I figure out something and I put it in the acronym form, and it always sticks and stays with me. And another part of what you were just speaking about that resonated with me, you talk about the don't touch the stove. I just saw a meme. You remember back in the day when you used to push in the cigarette
Pushing the cigarette
in the
lighter
car.
in the
Yeah,
car.
I remember I pushed it in one time and I said, "Well, this don't look that hot," and touched the tip of it, and it burnt my finger. It was that hot, so they kept telling me don't mess
Right.
with it, and I messed with it and learned a lesson. So, and another thing
And
to speak to
go
those
ahead.
lessons learned, we always want to take what we may imagine or may see as failures and turn those failures into exactly what you described them as, lessons. We don't want to take them as, oh, woe is me, and feel bad and get down on ourselves. We want to take those opportunities to learn and move on past those situations.
Absolutely. And part of moving on past those situations is going back to the letter A, taking action. Even though you have the life lessons, if you never act upon them, then you never get that opportunity to move forward. For many people, it's not an implementation problem that they have. They know what they need to do. They even know the steps in order to do them. A lot of the problems that people have being successful, becoming successful, is an execution problem. Write
Right.
that down.
Yep.
You don't have an implementation problem. You've got an execution problem. You start, but you don't finish. You never finish because you never started. It's all in the execution, and it's all in the expectation of what you want to see happen that's going to lead to that action that leads to that execution, which ultimately leads to that success.
Sounds great. One more question, and then we want to give your contact information one more time. So, how long have you been at this as far as the Unstoppable movement, Unstoppable coaching? Because the way you describe it sounds not just like you teach it, but you live it, which is another part of the whole reason I wanted you to come on and speak to my audience, is because you're not just teaching, you're actually living what you preach. So how long have you been at this, if you don't mind us
Man, well,
asking?
I thank you for that compliment, but I had to learn to live it before I could talk about it. See, this word wasn't a word that I found on my own. This was a word that was given to me. And sometimes you've got to hit rock bottom before you find your purpose. Sometimes you've got to hit that proverbial wall before the mission that was yours and yours alone becomes your way. And so it was back in 2008, Severen, 2008, in your city, Chi-Town. I had been working at this good government job. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Good government job for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, with the crash of 2008, the financial crash of 2008, the government decided they needed to cut some bait.
Okay.
And I gave them a reason to cut my bait. And so I found myself after 10 years no longer with the job. I found myself after 10 years having to come home to my house that had a mortgage on it and my midlife crisis car that was probably more than I should have bought when I bought it, and to my wife and tell her that I no longer had a job. So it was not a good day, let's say it
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
It was so bad that I went out into my backyard at 1 o'clock in the morning, Severen, and I had a conversation with God. scratch that. I didn't have a conversation with God. I had a hollering match with God
Okay.
at 1:00 in the morning.
Okay.
I said to God that you need to do something to change my situation, to turn this thing around so that I can get out of this spot where I am right now. And he gave me one word, Severen. You want to know what that word was?
I have a guess, but I'd rather you tell us.
Unstoppable.
Yep, that's what I wanted to hear.
And it was from that moment that I knew, and I don't know your show, I don't know your members, so I don't put my beliefs on anyone. You believe what you want to believe, you believe whoever you want to believe in, but I believe in God, and because He is unstoppable and I am connected to Him, then that makes me unstoppable by default. But like I said earlier, you gotta believe it.
I'm with that.
You gotta believe it.
That's the same thing I say to my audience as well. I'm not here to tell you who or what to believe in. I'm more of a believe in something type of person, a higher power, whatever that may be to you. It could be God, the fish in the sky, aliens. I just want you to have that belief, and I want you to have that purpose to be able to have something that you look to that's greater than yourself. So that's perfectly okay.
And be able to tap into it.
Yes.
You got to be able to tap into it, because people forget that is your resource. You have to go to the source when you're looking for resources. When teachers are looking for resources, they go to the supply store. They go to the source. When you are looking for groceries for your house, you have to go to the source, which is the grocery store. When you were growing up as a little kid and you didn't know how to do something, you had to go to the source, which were your parents. And here's the thing that's going to shock you. He is our parent.
Yep.
So whenever you are lacking your resources, it's probably because you haven't tapped back into the source. And I was lacking resources back in 2008, Severen, and I had to tap into the source. And when I tapped into the source, he told me there was an unimaginable amount of resources that he was willing to provide to me. I just had to believe in him and believe in the him in me. And because he can't be stopped, then I can't be stopped either. And so that's what I've been living since 2008. And every day, not a day has gone by where I have not said it's an unstoppable day. And let me tell you why I say that real quick, and then I'll shut up, because, speakers can speak forever.
No, that's what we want.
The reason I say every day is an unstoppable day is because it's my declaration. We're about to celebrate the Declaration of Independence, the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. It is my declaration every day that it's going to be an unstoppable day. I tell the universe, before the universe even has a chance to get its hooks into me, that it's going to be an unstoppable day. Now, Severen, does that mean I don't have bad days? Of course not. Does that mean I don't have challenges? Hell no. But what it does mean is that when I put that declaration out at the beginning of the day, and then I lay my head down at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, I've had a better day than a worse day. And that's because I set the expectation. Going back to the ABLE acronym, I set the expectation for what I want to see happen in my day. And if you set the expectation that you're going to have a great day, you're going to have a positive day, you're going to have a happy day, or yes, you're going to have an unstoppable day.
Yes.
If you set that expectation, you put the world on notice that come hell or high water, that's what's going to happen in your life.
It's about what we put out into the universe. It's about what we put out
Absolutely.
there. If we say we're going to have a bad day, guess what you're going to do? You're going to have a bad day. So why wake up with a woe is me attitude? Wake up with the attitude that you're going to go out and conquer the day, and that day is going to be yours. That's what I try and do, the same thing. And of course, we all have ups and downs and bad days and everything. But if we can make more positive ones while we're above ground, then all the more power to each and every one of us.
Absolutely. And we are accountable for making the day what we want it to be. It's up to you. You have the ability to make it a good day in spite of what's going on, or you have the ability to make it a bad day because of the things that you decide to focus on. That's why it's so important for us to, especially as entrepreneurs, to really have our focus, to have uh, that laser focused type of mentality. Because any entrepreneur worth their salt will let you know it's hard being an
It
entrepreneur,
it is, and that's what
but that doesn't mean you're not able.
that's what a piece of this show is about. So, after we go, I'm gonna give some of my thoughts about entrepreneurship. You can check back and listen. That's how I got to hook you to make sure you come back and listen to get those views up. But in the meantime, could you please plug all of your places where someone can connect with you one more time for my audience, please?
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Severen, so much for allowing me to share my unstoppable message on your show. It was great being here. For anyone who's interested, who wants to connect with me, you can reach me at my website, www.unstoppablecoaching.com. And I'm all over social media. On Facebook, you can just look me up under my name or my business, Terrance Leftridge. It's right there on the screen. But if you're listening, it's TerranceLeftridge. Hit me up on Facebook or under my coaching page, Unstoppable Coaching. You can reach me on IG under Unstoppable Coaching. That's Instagram for the people who don't know. Or you can reach me on LinkedIn on my business page, Terrance Leftridge, as well as I got a YouTube channel where you can get all my motivational Unstoppable Thoughts videos, as well as you can see some of the past episodes of the two shows I talked about earlier. But anywhere on social media, even on Google, you can find me if you want to reach me.
That's what we like to hear. We the more availability we have, the better, and we're able to see you and able to work with you and get that distinct opportunity. And I assure you, it will be worth your time and effort if, as a listener, you reach out to Terrance and you get a hold of him and contact him. He'll motivate you in ways that you didn't even know that you had inside of you. So, Terrance, thank you so much for coming on my show. I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate the words that you offered my audience. And we will speak again later, sir.
Hey, and as always, wherever you are in the world today, you know what I say. Don't just make it a great day. Go out and continue to do what you do for the world and make it an unstoppable day. Thank you so much, Severen.
All right. We'll talk to you later on. Thank you.